Good morning. Today is February 1st, which is Black History Month. Every day of Black History Month, we are going to be showing a famous African American who showed impact in our country, starting with Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King is famous for his I Have a Dream speech, which is attended by 250,000 people.
I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
His speech was so powerful that it brought even greater attention to the civil rights movement, which had been going on for many years. The point of the speech was to hope for a future America where black and whites can eat together. Dr. King still impacts to this day. For WakeUp Wolfpack, I am Liliana McCree. We will have a Black History Month segment every day.
Welcome back to our Black History Month segment. I'm Jaden. Today we're featuring one of my personal favorites, Jackie Robinson. Robinson was born in 1919 in Georgia and was born in a very athletic family. His older brother actually won a silver medal in the 1936 Olympics. That inspired Jackie to pursue his athletic dreams. He enrolled at UCLA where he was the first athlete to win 4 varsity letters in baseball, basketball, football, and track. But baseball was his true passion. Before he began his baseball career, he was actually drafted into the military. In 1945, he made his professional debut for the Kansas City Monarchs. In 1947, Robinson was the first African American to play Major League Baseball.
Jackie Robinson, runner at third base, takes his lead. And Robinson's going to try to steal home. He is safe at home plate.
Besides being criticized by his teammates and fans, Jackie Robinson claimed his spot as one of the best to play the game. He finished his career batting .311 with over 1,500 hits, but he will most be remembered for breaking the color barrier for most American professional sports. Thank you, Jackie Robinson, for paving the way for African American athletes around the world. For WakeUp Wolfpack, I'm Jaden Lopez.
Welcome back to our Black History Month segment. I am Nevaeh McCree, and today we'll be featuring Mae Jemison. Mae Jemison was one of the smartest humans to walk this earth. She was admitted at Stanford University at the age of 16. Jemison quickly found her way in the workforce and first applied for her astronaut program in 1985. Her application to NASA was postponed because of the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster. Ultimately, she was selected to become the first black African American astronaut in 1987.
When I applied to the astronaut program, I didn't even think about the fact of whether I would be the first African American woman in space or anything like that. It didn't even cross my mind I wanted to go into space. I couldn't have cared if there had been 1,000 people in space before me or whether there had been none. I wanted to go.
Ms. Jemison's accomplishments actively paved the way for future African American women in the science field. For WakeUp Wolfpack, I am Nevaeh McCree.
Good morning, Wolfpack, and I'm Maria. Today, for our daily Black History Month segment, we are representing Shirley Chisholm. In 1968, she made history by becoming the first African American congresswoman in the U.S. representing the state of New York.
For the first 2 to 3 months, I was miserable. The gentleman did not pay me any mind at all because of the black woman.
Shirley also authored 2 books, one, Unbought and Unbossed in 1970, and the second, The Good Fight in 1973. Shirley was also admitted to the National Women's Hall of Fame in 1993. Shirley Chisholm was one of the first black women to show that we could do anything we put our minds to.
Good morning, Wolfpack. I'm Jasmine, and here's another segment for the Black History Month. Today we'll be talking about Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman was one of the most remarkable women in American history.
Harriet Tubman escaped slavery and made 13 missions back to the South to rescue approximately 70 enslaved people.
She and 2 of her brothers ran away, and the brothers decided they would return to the plantation. And she, instead of abandoning them, turned around, went back with them to the plantation, and then turned around and escaped a second time.
Harriet Tubman was also credited for finding a cure for dysentery. Tubman was a Union scout during the Civil War. Harriet was the first woman to lead a combat assault. Harriet never lost a slave. The reason why Harriet Tubman is so important is because she helped slaves escape. She fought for what was right and never gave up. I'm Jasanya, and this is WakeUp Wolfpack.
Good morning, Wolfpack. It's me, Liliana again, and as a continuation of our Black History Month segment, we're going to talk about Garrett Morgan. He was born on March 4th, 1877 in Claysville, Harrison County, Kentucky. He was an African-American inventor, businessman, and community leader. His more important inventions are the 3-position traffic signal and a smoke hood, and he was one of the predecessors to the gas mask. At the Emancipation Sentinel celebration in Chicago, Illinois in August 1963, 1 month after his death, Morgan was nationally recognized, and he died on July 27, 1963.
Throughout his life, Garrett had to deal with discrimination because of the color of his skin, but he didn't let this stop him from continuing to experiment with new ideas and think of ways to improve his community.
As a conclusion, Garrett Morgan is an important person because without his inventions, the world could have been very different from what we know now. For Wake Up Wolfpack, I'm Liliana.
Good morning, Wolfpack. I'm Jasmine, and I have another segment here for the Black History Month, and we're going to be talking about Bayard Rustin. Bayard Rustin was the main organizer of the March on Washington in 1963. He was openly gay and fought for civil and gay rights. He was also an advisor to Martin Luther King Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first demand is that we have effective civil rights legislation, no compromise, no filibuster, and that it includes public accommodations, decent housing, integrated education, FAPC, and the right to vote. What do you say?
Even though he passed away in 1987, Obama awarded him in 2013 with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Bayard Rustin might not have been the face of the civil rights movement, but he helped tremendously.
What's up, Wolfpack? I am Jasmine. Today is the final day of Black History Month, and today we are going to feature the first African American Lee County settlers, the Tills family. Nelson Tills moved his family to the Fort Myers area on Christmas Day in 1867. They bounced around in North Fort Myers, but eventually crossed the river and lived next to the Edison and Ford estates. Tillis worked hauling wood from Punta Rossa as well as shale from East Lee County that ultimately ended up as the foundation of the Fort Myers courthouse. The Tillis family would endure years of persecution as Fort Myers became segregated, but their bravery helped pave the way for Lee County we all know and love today. Thanks for watching Black History Month segments. I am Jasmine. Have a great weekend.
Hi everyone, I'm Karina. Today we'll be talking about Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks made a huge impact by her movement. On December 1, 1955, she was sitting in a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, a segregated state back then. While it was empty when a bus started to get more passengers, she was told that she had to give her seat to a white man, but refused. Parks got arrested for that, but she left her own powerful signature behind.
Then I asked him, why did they push us around? And he said, and I quote him, I don't know, but the law is a law and you are under arrest. And with that, I got off the bus under arrest.
This is very important for the nation's history as it shows that we are all equal. For Wake Up Wolfpack, I'm Karina.
Welcome back to our Black History Month segment. I'm Nevaeh McCree, and today we are featuring the one and only Malcolm X.
Who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
He was successful in junior high until he quit high school because a white teacher told him that practicing law as a black kid was unrealistic. After dropping out of high school, Malcolm got in trouble and was sentenced to 10 years into prison for larceny and breaking and entering. In prison, he joined the Nation of Islam and quickly became one of its most powerful, influential leaders. After a decade with the organization, Malcolm decided to leave the organization in 1964. He thought that the nation had, quote, gone as far as it can. After leaving, Malcolm claimed that the organization was actively trying to kill him. In 1965, Malcolm X was assassinated in Manhattan. Despite being one of the most controversial figures of the civil rights movement, Malcolm will be remembered for advocating for black empowerment. For Wake Up Wolfpack, I'm Nevaeh McCree.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wolfpack's Black History Month segment. I am Kenavis, and today we're going to talk about a family who had an impact on the civil rights. Fannie Lou Hammond was an American voting and women's rights activist, community organizer, and a leader in the civil rights movement. She was born in Montgomery County, Mississippi on October 6, 1917. She was the co-founder and vice chair of the Freedom Democratic Party, where she represented at the 1964 Democratic National Convention.
We went after what was right, and it was wrong the way we had been treated for hundreds and hundreds of years. Denied the right to register to vote, denied the right to participate in the political process, And that's what was going on.
She had 2 daughters, Virgie Reed, who was civil rights spokeswoman on the behalf of her beloved mother. She departed this life on October 25th, 2017 at Methodist University Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Dorothy Jean, who was an American actress, singer, and dancer, she is the first African-American film star to be nominated for the Academy Award for the Best Actress, which was for her performance in Carmen Jones' 1954. We'll be back for our final Black History Month segment.
Welcome back to Black History Month. I am Gerard, and we are here to talk about Barack Obama. Long before he became the 44th president, Obama was born in Hawaii, the only president born outside of continental U.S. He later attended Columbia University as well as Harvard on his way to starting his law career, which transitioned into politics. He first became an Illinois senator in 1996, and less than a decade later, he ran for president and beat John McCain, becoming the first African-American president in our nation's history.
There is not a Black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America.
Obama's trailblazing presidency paved the way for our current Vice President, Kamala Harris. Shout out Obama, I'm Gerard, and we'll see you for our last week, next week, for Black History Month.
Good morning, Wolfpack. I'm Liliana with your Black History Month segment for today. We are doing Ruby Bridges. At just the age of 6, Ruby Bridges caused a huge advancement in the civil rights movement when she was the first African-American student to integrate to an elementary school in the South. When the school district created exams for African-American students to see if they were qualified for the academics of the school, Ruby passed with 4 other students.
500 kids walked out of school that day. And I didn't know what was going on because nobody explained anything to me.
Barbara Henry, a white Boston native, was the only teacher willing to accept Ruby. All year long, her and Ruby were a class of 1. When it was recess, her teacher would play with her, and during lunch, she would sit and eat alone. After many years later, Barbara and Ruby met again in the mid-1990s. Now at 66 years old, Ruby is a lifelong activist for racial equality and civil rights. She will always fight for everyone facing what she did at one point in her life. Thank you for your bravery, Ruby Bridges. I'm Liliana from WakeUp Wolfpack.
Yo, it's your boy 22K Rod. It's the final week of Black History Month. We're here to talk about Serena Williams, who paved the way for young athletic girls. Serena Williams was born in Compton, California, but never let her upbringing prevent her from taking over a country club sport, tennis. Serena Williams turned professional at the age of 14. In her first career event, she made it all the way to the finals. She has gone on to have the most impressive career in tennis history with 23 Grand Slams. She has inspired a whole new generation of women tennis players and has used her status to start 13 different charities and given out dozens of scholarships in her hometown.
Every time I watch her play a match, just fierce.
She inspires not just me, but many others. She's definitely a true example of a champion.
She's an inspiration to not just only little girls around the world, but guys as well.
Such physical talent and power, and she's got the biggest game.
Well, the longevity of her reign as the greatest is second to none.
She's a warrior. I don't think she feels pressured. I think she's anxious to go out there and just kill the match.
Serena Williams' story is still being written, but her advancement for African-American women has been evident. For WakeUp Wolfpack, I'm 22K.